Welcome to Planet MicroCap. I'm your host, Robert Kraft, and joining me right now is Todd Gibson. He's the co-founder and CEO of Yerbaé Brands Corp. It's a publicly traded company. I got two symbols for you: YERB.U on the TSX Venture and YERBF on the OTCQX. And Yerbaé Brands will be presenting at our upcoming investor conference, the Planet MicroCap Showcase, happening in Las Vegas, April 30 through May 2nd, 2024. For more information, to meet with Todd one-on-one, to see his presentation, or actually his fireside Q&A with Matthew Martin from Remont Microcap Fund, please visit planetmicrocapshowcase.com to register and attend. With that, Todd, thank you so much for joining me today. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, Robert. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely. It's great to have you. And actually, this is our first time doing an interview together. So can you start us off with a quick overview and history of Yerbae?
Sure. Well, so Carrie, my co-founder, and I, we built and launched this company back in 2017. And it just came with the ideation of we wanted a better for you alternative than what was available in the marketplace. And for those that are going to watch this, they may or may not know my background, but I've been in the beverage business for about 26 years now. I helped build and launch the first energy drink in North America. It was called Hanson's Energy. You'd know it today as Monster, right? After that, I helped build a company called Sobe, right? SOBE, South Beach Beverage, and we built that company up, and we sold that off to Pepsi Cola. And then after that, we created a product called Fuse, spelled F-U-Z-E, sold that to Coca-Cola. And after that, we created a product called NOS, the energy drink, N-O-S, and we built that company up, sold that to Coca-Cola. A little different with Coke. They said, we're not going to keep buying brands from you, so for the next 3 years, you're going to work for us. So I did that, and I learned a lot there. That was a lot of fun. But my co-founder, Carrie Gibson, she also is an entrepreneur of her own. She created one of the largest electronic recyclers, and it all started from the basement of her home in 2005. Fast forward 10 years later, she recycled over 1 billion pounds. She was the top 100 women in business in Forbes magazine. It was actually kind of cool at the time. Bruno Mars just launched his song that said, I want to be on the cover of Forbes magazine with Oprah and the Queen. Well, she actually was, and she was in between Oprah and the Queen. It was actually really cool. So it was a good moment, very proud moment. But for us, it was all about creating a healthier for you alternative in the energy drink space. And if you take a look at what's out there in the space, there's a lot of great products, right? There's a lot of bad products that are out there. You hear about people, dealing with all kinds of different issues, whether it's in and around their food and beverage choices. And we didn't want to be a part of the problem. We want to be a part of the solution. So we wanted to create a uniquely non-inflammatory products. So no sugar, right? Nothing that causes inflammation within your body, no negative attributes. So we use only organic and non-GMO ingredients inside the product, all 0 calorie. First ingredient is water. The last ingredient that's in there is sea salt. So it's all minerals, it's all vitamins, and plants and minerals and water. And it truly is it's a very special place and time. And our celebrity ingredient is yerba mate, hence the name Yerbae that you see right there. Right, yerba mate is known to produce 196 different vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants for your body. But what we really love about it, more than anything else, it produces natural caffeine. So,
Absolutely. So, no, that's a great overview and history right there. I mean, look, I have a lot of experience drinking just yerba mate, the leaf itself. I lived in Argentina for 4 months. That's literally, we drank that every single day. And I'll say firsthand, it definitely gives you the caffeine kick without question. So, you kind of got into my next question a little bit about, what makes the formulation and the drink itself unique and different. But from a company perspective and how you're rolling out the brand, what would you say makes Yerbae Brands unique and different compared to some of your peers out there that are both in the energy drink space and also in the Yerbae, using kind of the Yerbae model for energy drinks?
Sure. I mean, well, there's multiple different ways that makes us different. There's a lot of great companies out there that are all doing great things, and some that are emerging in that marketplace. And in our particular case, we believe that by going deep within the markets so that we have the market penetration, we want to win where we are before we try to spread across the entire country. And so we started on the West Coast. We've really enhanced our entire market penetration on the West Coast. We're up to 14,000 retail doors, mainly here on the West Coast, a little bit of Chicago, a little bit of Wisconsin, Minnesota. We're originally Chicagoans. that have exited for Scottsdale, Arizona, because it's just amazing down here. But down here in the West Coast, or out here in the West Coast, right, more people are looking for the healthier alternative. So we're speaking the right language to the consumer that's looking for a healthier alternative. Our approach to the market is we want to lean the ingredients down. So you take a look at any of the former companies that I was a part of, whether it's Sobe, Fuse, NOS, Monster, any of those. Look at the ingredients, specifically Monster and NOS. So like when we created those, we didn't know the long-term effects of what glucosinolactone would do to your body, or taurine, or any of those alternative ingredients. And if consumed in the right consumption, doesn't cause any harm. But when overconsumed, you hear all the negative stories that happen in the energy drink business. Well, we said, look, let's create a product that even if somebody overconsumes, they're not going to have this type of negative side effect. So we keep our caffeine within a reasonable level. We're using it all from plants, hence plant-based energy, right? 7 total ingredients in our 12-ounce line, 8 total ingredients in our 16-ounce line. And when you take a look at us versus our peers at Monster, there's roughly about 32, 36 ingredients, depending on the flavor, right? Even NOS, our old company, we had 27 ingredients in there. And it generally leads off with sugar as your second ingredient. And for us, our approach is connect with those consumers, win in the whole health and heart space. So think of Sprouts Farmers Market, your emerging natural foods channels. That's where we launched with our product. And now we're starting to expand into grocery. As well as you probably saw a press release just recently, we just secured Target. What an incredible opportunity for the company that's going to continue to spread that brand awareness while targeting right directly into the core of our consumer.
Absolutely. So, my final question for you, because, you mentioned how you've had a number of exits in building up some energy drink companies, then selling them to your best friend, it seems, at Coca-Cola. But I said, I'm kidding, of course. But, I'm curious to your 3 to 5 year vision for Yerbae. Where do you see this going? Do you see this as another, maybe near-term exit, building it up to a certain point, so it gets that inflection point for that? Or are we talking, Yerbae right next to Red Bull on Formula One at one day? Love to hear your thoughts there.
Well, we took a different approach with this company, right? So we went public, right? Which is not a normal path for an emerging growth company. Typically, emerging growth companies, you want to build your business, grow your business, sell it to the natural acquirer. In this particular case, over COVID, we decided that we would go public because that was the path towards liquidity, not for people like myself or our investors, but for continuously bringing funding into the company to drive the growth capital that the company would need. So we went public. And now that we're a public entity, to a certain extent, if you're an investor, you have your liquidity moment at any given time. You can exit the position at any time, right? But our approach is all about driving long-term growth and value for the consumer. So this isn't a race to a 3-year finish from this. We are looking at the long horizon on this. Our next objective is to be cash flow positive, so where we don't lose on the transactions, right? And the next step after that, I think I've mentioned this to you before, is like there's the 50 and the 100 rule, right? At roughly $50 million in sales, the company breaks even. At $100 million in sales, that's where your natural acquirers start coming out of everywhere. And it's a normal benchmark within this industry. And we operate with solid gross margins, right? We're typically around 50% gross margin, as well as we are on a high growth trajectory. And those two combinations give us the confidence to keep reinvesting back into the marketplace to drive more consumers, because what we found, it's starting to truly work and connect, and we're feeling that moment. And you've seen it before. You've seen it from Celsius, you saw it from Monster, you've seen it from these other beverage companies that are out there. When you make that connection, boy, it's all about pouring fuel on that fire and going, because once you get the power of the consumer behind you, you can go a long ways. Look at what's happening on our college and sorority business, right? Our Penn State University package that we just recently launched, or some of the other universities. I mean, it's just truly incredible, the moments that we're having as a company.
Absolutely. So I think that's a great place to end it. Leave people wanting a little bit more, right? So they got to come to Vegas and meet with you. So with that, Todd, where can our audience go and find more information on Yerbae Brands?
Yeah, just go to yerbae.com, follow us on social media, go to LinkedIn, Like you can look us up anywhere and you'll find our brand. We're well represented out there in the social verse. And I'm looking forward to meeting each and every one of you at the upcoming conference. Thanks,
Absolutely.
Robert.
Thank you. Well, Todd, thank you so much for joining me today. Really do appreciate it. Good luck. Stay safe, and I'll see you in Vegas.
Same to you. Thanks, my man.